Have you ever wanted to guest on a podcast like this one that you're listening to right now? Well, you can. You can definitely do this by visiting a website called Podmatch, where you can sign up and be available for all different types of podcasts that you can guest on. Or you can even search for a podcast and say, I want to guest on your podcast. I think we'd be a good match. So if you want to do this, you can go to our unique link, which is joinpodmatch.com/reality, and you can sign up and do exactly that. And you can find us and you can guest on our podcast. So again, that unique link is www.joinpodmatch.com. That's joinpodmatch.com/reality, REALITEA, and you can be a guest on our podcast. Welcome to Reality Tea Times 2, the podcast where we discuss all the trash reality TV we love to hate. I am Tanika, and today we're going to be discussing Selling Sunset Season 7. So, we're going to be covering episodes 1 to 3 in this episode. And, but before we jump into it, just want to go through a couple of announcements. So, number one, Family Chantel will be coming your way on Monday, right before the new episode starts. We will be recording that with Letitia. So that will be there. Golden Bachelor, hopefully we can have to you by around the same time, Monday, Tuesday. So there's that. And what else? Anything before I talk about the major one? I think that's it. And the big announcement, as I've been mentioning now in a few of the episodes now, the podcast is going to be on a hiatus between December 7th and around January 7th. Probably won't get an episode until the following week, but it's going to be on a hiatus for that time. We might still post a few things here and there on the socials, but most likely the podcast will be definitely out, social media, everything during Christmas. So during Christmas to New Year's for sure. So that's what's going to be happening. You will be getting, we'll quickly do the rundown. We're doing 90 Day OG prior to the hiatus. We'll be doing that episode. We'll be doing Toe, if that's still going. There'll be Family Chantel. We're doing that solo, which is me. We'll be doing that. You'll have Below Deck, I believe, as well. I'm trying to think of anything else that I said we will do. Probably F-Boy Island if it's still going. But we'll see. But if you want a full list of everything, that announcement is on the 90 OG episode. So that will be there, and all of the information will be in that episode. But that's it on the top of the episode. So let's get into it. Let's jump into the reason that we are here. Selling Sunset, Season 1, Episode 1, The Real Estate Apocalypse. Well, we first see Bree, Amanza, and Emma. They're at a mansion. Of course they are, right? Because this is Selling Sunset. And again, guys, just to remind you how we usually do this show, we don't talk about the houses unless it is relevant to the show, which sometimes it might be a little relevant to talk about the real estate. So, Amanza's purse that she has, it's literally a black basketball. She thought it was a purse, then realized it's actually a basketball. Then Bree she's just sitting there eating some Cheerios from her bag. Oh, sorry, not Cheerios, Cheetos. Just eating some Cheetos from her bag. Just pulling them out. It's great. And then Emma tells everyone that Jason followed Chrishell to Australia. Okay, so for those who don't remember, who haven't watched the episodes yet, or maybe don't watch the show at all, Chrishell decided to take a break from real estate, go to Australia to spend some time with G Flip while they were in Australia doing their music. So she went with them to Australia. That was the plan. So then Jason decided to take a trip, of all places, to fucking Australia. Because this guy seems to be a one-trick pony and usually goes to Mykonos. How did you end up in Australia, sir? That's the weirdest fucking thing. And how else would Emma know unless Chrishell told her, and Chrishell told her in, a certain way? This is fucking weird, y'all. Jason is so in love with her. It's making me sad, actually. And I don't know in what way, but I'm sad. And let's also add to the fact that Jason followed her out to Australia, but so did his girlfriend, Skip to Malou. That's what we call her. Her name is Mary Lou or whatever the hell. That is her name, but we here at Reality Tea Times 2 call her Skip to Malou. And yeah, so she's there, and so is Brett. What the fuck? Oh, this poor girl can just have a break. I guess she should have decided to kick out instead. I don't know. So now we're in Australia with Chrishell. And then we see Chrishell meeting up with Jason, Brett, and Skip to Malou. And I wrote, this is weird. So then, because they do ask about G and where they are, and Chrishell basically just says that they're going to be performing tonight, so they're preparing for that, so they're not going to be there. So back in LA, Emma starts rock climbing in a bedroom in this house because it looks like it's a rock wall. So she starts climbing it. I don't know if that's a great idea, but anyways, back to Australia, and we'll be here for a little. Chrishell feels recharged and ready to come back to do some work. And Jason admits he has been distant from work as well, and he probably needs to get his ass into fucking gear and start doing some more work. You don't fucking say, sir. Did you watch last season? You were barely fucking there. You basically just resorted back to Mary and said, you figure it out, bitch, because now you're the manager, and Mary couldn't really manage. So, yes, Jason, you have some work to do. Jesus. Skip to Malou looks real unhappy in this moment. Because even though, like, they're talking about work, and they were anyways, they're very smiley with each other, Jason and Chrishell, very giggly with each other. It's cute. But it ain't cute when you're not together anymore and your girlfriend's right beside you thinking, the fuck? Yeah. So she's unhappy. So back in LA, they feel bad for Skip to Malou because he was madly in love with Chrishell. And this is the thing. We do find out throughout this that they at this point have been together for 8 months. And spoiler alert, guys, for those who maybe don't remember, I do remember talking about this in an episode. I can't remember which episode it was now because it was probably about a couple of months ago. There was an episode that I talked about the fact that Jason and Skip to Malou were no longer together. They're actually with separate people now. So there's that. But at this point, they have been together for 8 months. And they're saying that, Chrishell was the love of his life. He was madly in love with her. And Skip Smaloo is technically probably the next person he's actually had a relationship with since Chrishell. And in a way, she's probably a semi-rebound girlfriend. And no wonder it didn't work. Now we're with Mary and Nicole. So Nicole's back, everybody. Yay! Mary decides that she is not going to be a manager anymore and she's just going to focus on her clients. It's probably for the best. Then we also find out about the new mansion tax that is going to be going into effect very soon. So Nicole explains how this new mansion tax is going to work. So it does start in the next month, and she says that any property that is sold over $5 million will have an additional 4% tax, and anything over $10 million will have an additional 5% tax. So, for example, the house they are currently selling that they're in, the house costs $26 million. So the tax on this house would be $1,430,000. $1 million. That's what it would be. $1,430,000. Jesus fucking Christ. So I guess this is the government's way of what? Jesus Christ. That's a lot of money. And what gives the state of California the right to do this? Like, I'm just very curious, like, why? Maybe I will do some research on the mansion tax. Maybe I will do some quick research on it. Like, why? maybe we can do it on an episode of Next Take. I don't know. But this is interesting. Like, why? Well, yeah, so we'll see. I might try and do that for maybe the end and we can talk about it. But I'm just so curious, like, what gives them the right to tax like this and only on the expensive properties? Which I understand go after the rich people who can afford it. But that's the thing, does it hit the seller? Does it hit the buyer? Who does it hit? Where does the hit happen? Does it hit the agents? Where does the hit happen? I want to know. I'm actually going to do some research on it for sure. And figure it out. Maybe, as mentioned, I will do this for an episode of Next Take. For those who are curious and want to know, and, maybe for those people who don't care and don't want to know, but for those people who do care and want to know, maybe, you can head over there. I'll keep you updated because I'm actually very curious to know, like, why. So, anyway. So now we are with Chelsea and Emma, and we are in the Beverly, Wilshire. I can't talk today. So we find out it's going to be Chelsea's birthday, and she's going to be turning 30 years old. You're really trying to tell me that I'm older than Chelsea? Fuck's sakes. Okay. She is planning a birthday party that's going to be extravagant. It is going to be a masquerade-themed party. She also wants a sex room with naked men. I don't see the problem. What's the problem? I see no problem. Nothing. Except for if a man did that, Now I know men, different situation, I get it. But it's just, I don't know. Anyway, nonetheless, do you, girl, whatever it is. Chelsea hasn't really celebrated her birthday much because her parents weren't always around very much. So her birthday was just kind of another day for her. But y'all, her mom is going to be at this party, so we're going to meet her mom. So Nicole will be at the party. Chelsea feels like things are a little up in the air with Nicole and her relationship with her. Is she a friend? Is she an enemy? Is she a frenemy? What is it? I'm still trying to figure this out. So Nicole, for that reason, will be invited to Chelsea's birthday party. But Chelsea does tell Emma that Nicole has said something about Emma behind Emma's back, and that is that Emma is only friends with Chrishell because she is a social climber. We're going to very quickly find out that I don't think Nicole knows what a social climber is. But at the same time, what the fuck are you talking about? Hasn't this girl been doing empanadas before she was even like really big in real estate? Like, what the hell? I don't think she needed to use Chrishell to social climb. And if that's the case, like, she seems to be doing really fine for herself right now. She's still friends with Chrishell. I'm confused. This bitch. Anyway, obviously Emma is not happy, and that will be addressed a little later. But then we also find out that Bree is not invited because Chelsea is still on her same bullshit when it comes to Bree's family dynamic. I'm sorry, get mad at Nick. Nick's the problem, not Bree. Fuck Nick. I'll watch you with the Masked Singer and I'm okay with that. But fuck Nick. Don't actually, no, scratch that. Don't fuck Nick. You might get pregnant. Just be mad at him. So now we are with Mary and Lettuce, aka Romaine. And Mary says that she's really busty. She says this to Romaine, that she's really busty. And she thought, she was going to be getting her period, but she hasn't. And now she's 5 days late. So she does talk about her son very briefly and how she had him at 15. We do see a picture of him as a baby. He was very cute. And Romaine doesn't really know how pregnancy test works because she ends up doing a test. And he says, shake it, after she's like peed on it. And I'm thinking, Romaine, that is not how it works. Mary tells him that is not how it works. You pee on that shit and you place it very gently on a flat surface and let it do its thing. Shaking it is gonna have it become invalid. Men, it's a really good thing y'all don't get pregnant. Anyway, and we're waiting and we're waiting, and then she's pregnant. When I saw this episode and I saw she was pregnant, I burst into tears. I don't know about anyone else, but I burst into tears because this was always something that I think they worried about being a struggle for them with her age, being a little older than him, being at a point in life where maybe you're not trying to get pregnant anymore. You're at a point where you're probably going to head into menopause, maybe the next 5 to 10 years, that's, yeah. And she's probably in perimenopause or about to be. So it's just, I was very happy for them. And I just burst into tears. I was a blubbering mess. That's basically what happened. But she says that let's call Amanza because she wants to tell her. She does decide she's not going to be telling anybody else, but she does tell Amanza. And all she does is show Amanza the pregnancy test, and Amanza, like me, started to cry. So yeah, congratulations, you guys. I'm so happy for the both of you. Yeah, it's amazing. So now we are with Heather. So we are going to see Heather very briefly, but she's about to pop, y'all. And Bree's with her. And like I said, she's real pregnant. And we are meeting her client named Josh. Josh is a child. Josh is a kid. Josh is 20. Jesus fucking Christ. Lord. But he is going to be 21 real soon, so he can't legally drink yet, guys. He can't legally drink yet. in America. He can legally drink here in Canada, but he can't legally drink in America. Jeez. They end up looking around this house that he's looking at, and he goes into what's the entertainment room and tests whether or not the entertainment room is soundproof. Now, let me also preface, he's with Bree because Bree's going to be taking him on while Heather is on mat leave. So he yells in the soundproof room, but guess what, guys? It's not soundproof. Never mind, because Heather's up there being like, "What is happening?" She's like, "What the fuck?" And when they come back, she's like, "Are you guys good? Like, what happened? Like, did you kill him? Like, what's going on?" And we're gonna throw in some innuendos and be like, "We were testing out the soundproof room and seeing if could hear anything." So anyway, we're done with that. So now we're with Emma, Chrishell, she's back, Bree, and Amanza. And Amanza orders a meatball. One meatball. And when we do see it, it's a huge ass fucking meatball. So then we start talking about whether or not Amanza has a crush. So she says, maybe. But that's about all she's gonna really say. So then they ask, like, who would sleep with a celebrity that they like? And who that celebrity would be. Amanza, my girl, says that she wouldn't mind having sex with Michael B. Jordan. I agree. I 100% agree with this. Yep. Stamp of approval. And then Bree says, I would do that. Actually, I have done that. Bree has fucked Michael B. Jordan. Girl, details. We need to know. Is he good? Clearly he is, though. Because she said she would do it again because she's done already. Okay. Get it, girl. My goodness. Anyway. Who's better, Michael B. Jordan or Nick Cannon? That's what I want to know. That is a question I want to know. Anyways, I'm going to move on. Never mind. Let me not go there. So Bree is still with Nick, we find out here. Whatever that means for her. And he might not be happy if she dated around. Excuse me? Excuse the fuck out of me. I'm so confused. So wait a minute, Nick. It's okay. It sounds very much like what Natalia is going through with her boyfriend currently on Below Deck Med. But Nick, it's okay for you to stick your thing in anything and get them pregnant. But it's not okay for Bree to go and do her thing. What is she then, a baby factory for you? Is that what it is? Because that's fucking disgusting. She's more than a baby factory. What the fuck? Oh my god. Anyway, men and their small fucking egos. And then we kind of, bring up the whole Chelsea situation and Brie. And Emma says, I would mediate for you and Chelsea if that's, Then we start talking about Nicole. Nicole is not a good person, according to Emma. I think according to a lot of us. Amanza says it's hard to hear people bash Nicole because she's known Nicole the longest. But if she, because, okay, Emma does explain what she found out from Chelsea, which was the whole social climbing situation. And Amanza says, though, it's hard to hear this. People bashing her. If she said that, then that's crazy. That is learning some shit. And it's true. And we're going to see how this is going to blow up in her fucking face really soon. So now it's Chelsea's birthday party. And we also see Jarvis and Kayla are here from the OC office. It's not the first time we're going to see some people from the OC office. So, Chelsea's mom, I wrote, is gorgeous. Chelsea looks amazing herself. I believe she was wearing, what was she wearing? It's red long dress. She kind of looked like Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman, but even more beautiful if that was possible. She looked phenomenal. And Chelsea says that she does like a speech and says, I owe everything to my mom. She says that I am the person I am because of you. And she kind of gets cut off by her mom because her mom's like, okay, enough. Because she's getting very emotional at this. And then she says to her husband, Jeff, that he showed her what love is. So, yeah, she gets her gift. Not sure who it's from. I'm guessing her husband. And it is her first Birkin purse. So she's really happy. Yay. Money. So then we see the phenomenal argument that is about to happen between Emma and Nicole. So Emma walks up to Nicole and says, hey bitch, I heard you were talking some shit about me. Is it true? And Nicole does admit that yes, I did say that you're only friends with Chrishell to social climb. It feels like you're defending Chrishell. Why? This bitch. But anyways, let's continue. And then Emma says, like, do you even know what social climbing is? Like, do you know what it means? And she says, like, whatever. Then, in a sense, Nicole, it kind of feels like she's backpedaling, or she can't even, like, she can talk shit about people behind their backs, but as soon as they come into her front of her face, she's like a fish on land. She doesn't know what the fuck she's doing. She's just flopping around, trying to figure out life, trying to find the fucking water. She can't find the fucking water. She's losing air, and she looks like an idiot. Fish don't look like idiots when they're dying. I'm not saying that, but she just looks like an idiot. So then Emma tells her, like, that's a big thing you said. So keep that big ball energy, because you clearly have the big ball energy when you're talking shit behind my back. She says, don't let them shrink to raisins. Oh my god, that was fucking great. She has some great one-liners in this argument. Nicole, not so much. She had nothing to say. But Nicole says, you're like one way when people have your back. Who the fuck has her back right now, Nicole? Nobody. It's literally, I mean, people do come out and join this argument in a second, but in this fucking moment, it is you on her. There's no one else. There's no Chrishell. There's no Chelsea. There's no Bree. There's no nobody. It's just the two of you. So what the fuck is she talking about? And she seems to really be holding her own in this fucking moment, while you, ma'am, are over there looking for the water. I don't understand. What is she talking about? This fucking bitch. I can't. Ooh. So, like I said, yeah, Nicole can't even talk. Then she's like talking about Chrishell, like Chrishell is here. This has nothing to do with Chrishell. You are the one who started talking shit about Emma. So why is Chrishell now being brought up into all of this? Chrishell's not here. What the fuck? Actually, was Chrishell at the party? Who came and started? Actually, I think Chrishell was at the party, if I remember correctly. Can't remember. But anyways, like, what the fuck? Chrishell's not here at the moment. And Chrishell, from what I'm understanding, wasn't there. We were talking shit about Emma. Fucking idiot. Emma says that you are so miserable. That's it. She is a miserable bitch. She is a miserable bitch. That's exactly it. That's perfect. Yep. And she says maybe you need to get happy or whatever, and things will be better. Then Nicole says, I could say the same about you. What the fuck are you talking about? Emma is a happy fucking person from what we can see on this show. She's only not happy when people talk shit about her. Funny how that works. I think that's everybody. What the fuck is this? She can't fight. She shouldn't talk shit because she cannot back her shit up afterwards. And then Amanza comes in and tells her, it's a big deal that you said that. And then Chrishell tells her, You rearrange your face? Oh, come on, Chrishell. What the fuck? I don't understand what that means. Don't everybody in fucking LA or wherever the fuck rearrange their face because that's the times we live in? I don't understand. And you still want to talk about rearranging faces? Like, at least she doesn't fucking look like, I don't know, Darcy and Stacy. She looks natural enough. Like, I don't understand that. I don't understand. That also doesn't lend to the argument that is at hand right now, which is Nicole is talking shit about Emma, which we don't know why. Why she has to talk shit about Emma. That's all this is about. We don't need to start talking about whether her face is rearranged or not. Like, I know. Chrishell should have stayed out of it. That's what I think. Chrishell is too deep in her anger towards Nicole to have a rational conversation with somebody. So she's going to grasp now at straws and say, you rearrange your face. Like, the drugs, you had me there. That's fine. Because chances are she's doing something. But rearranging your face, Chrishell, isn't there a possibility you might have rearranged your own face? Like, I'm confused. I'm just confused by everything. It was so fucking weird. Amanza tells her, if we walk away from this table, I'm not gonna fuck with you. Or I don't fuck with you. It's because of this. It's because of this conversation. It's because of what you said. And the fact that you can't even apologize for saying what you said because it's not right. Everyone's on Emma's side. Every single person's on Emma's side saying this is bullshit. This is not Emma. Emma's not social or not a user to become a social climber. Like, that's no. And she says that Emma is the nicest person. That's what Amanda says. And that Chrishell is the nicest person. She says, my kids love them. Then Nicole just says, you're an awful person. She says that to Chrishell, even though, can we remind everybody here that this argument is supposed to be about what she said about Emma? Why is everything being directed back to Chrishell? So did you talk shit about Emma because she's just, that's exactly what it is. She's talking shit about Emma because she is associated with Chrishell. That is high school bullshit. Grow the fuck up. Just because she's friends with, or Emma is friends with Chrishell, doesn't mean you have to talk shit about Emma. Oh. Was she ever a nice person? I'm confused. Oh, fuck. Anyway. And she just kind of starts talking about the fact that she was the first real estate agent there and blah, blah, blah. Who gives a flying fuck that you were the first real estate agent at the O Group? Who cares? It doesn't matter because you're no longer the only real estate agent at the O Group. And you can't play with anybody. You can't be nice with anybody. As I've mentioned, you are a miserable bitch. But that is the end of episode 1. And we're going to take a break here. When we come back, we will jump into the next episode. Do you want to spice up your love life? Well, you can make that happen by going to Love Shop, where you can get sorts of different things, whether it's for both you and your partner or just for yourself. For solo play, you can get things, all types of vibrators, maybe more kinky type toys, or you can just buy what every person may need, like lingerie or protection, or even just something to make it a little more fun, like games or novelty things. You can do all of this by going to Love Shop, and you can use our unique coupon code RealityT2 to get 10% on anything your hearts desire. So that's loveshop.ca, loveshop.ca, and use our unique coupon code RealityTea. That's REALITEA and the number 2. And we are back. So let's jump into episode 2. Mean girl shit. I think we'll be surprised to find out why the episode is titled this way. wow, the dramas in this season. Wow. So we're with our twins, and we're with Mary and Amanza and Skip to Malou. And everyone is now telling Mary about the drama that happened between Nicole and Emma at Chelsea's party. And then we're kind of doing this back and forth thing a little bit. So then we're with Nicole and her husband, and his name is Brandon. And she says, like, what puts her over the edge about this whole situation is what Amanza said to her about not fucking with her if she's, shit talking. What else does she expect for people to do? Can't stand behind somebody who keeps talking shit about you and all you want to do is be Switzerland. You know what I mean? Like, what does she expect? Anyway, Brandon apparently sent Amanza a text saying, and this was what it says, quote, 2 words, fuck you. Listen to me straight here, okay? Clearly these two are 2 peas in a pod, clearly, because that's a fucked up thing to do. I understand supporting your wife and defending your wife. I 100% get it. We've seen Tarek go fucking off on people when it came to Heather. That's fine. I totally get that. I'm not coming at him for that. But Tarek did it in the moment because he was there. He was involved. If you remember from previous season, he wasn't there and he was involved in what happened. So he went off. I'll totally get it. Brandon wasn't fucking there. So the wherewithal that you had to say, you know what, I'm going to text her to fuck her, or to, say fuck you in this text for what she said to my wife, when it's fucking justified. Do you realize that your wife is a piece of shit and can't keep her fucking mouth shut? If you could just zip it the way Kathy says, just zip it, then that's fine. All's great in the world. But she has to talk shit about people that she was working with and creating a toxic work environment. What does she expect? What the fuck do you expect? So then you're going to decide to text a woman to fuck you because of... That's just adding fuel to the fucking fire. Adding absolute fuel to the fucking fire. That's bullshit. And this is what he says. And we kind of go back to Amanza, and because we're kind of getting this back and forth between him and Amanza talking about the text message. And Amanza says, and even Mary says, because I'm assuming Mary also knows him, and is saying that doesn't sound like him. Are we insinuating that it was Nicole that sent the message? I think Nicole encouraged it for sure, even though she says, even though I don't condone it, or I didn't encourage you to, or whatever the hell. I don't believe it for a second. I think she did. But I think the text definitely came from him, though. Ugh, disgusting. Anyways, Nicole just says that she just wants someone to stand up for her. Someone will stand up for you when you stop talking shit about people. It's not that hard. Just don't talk shit. You don't like Chrishell? That's fine. Chrishell doesn't like you. You guys can at least work. You guys can at least go and do your job. That's it. You don't have to like each other. You don't have to get along. None of those things. Just shut up and do your fucking work. Why is that difficult? So Brett doesn't think that she should be attacked the way that she is. Mary agrees, but also says that if she's gonna talk shit, then what does she expect? Thank you. Jason says that Nicole started this by going after Chrishell. So obviously he's gonna defend Chrishell, but here's the thing, this is why it's sticky. He's gonna defend Chrishell, who is his ex-girlfriend, against Nicole, who is also his ex-girlfriend. It's so fucking messy, but clearly, like, him and Nicole ended a long time ago, 10 plus years prior. Chrishell is a lot more recent, and he almost had before deciding not to, almost had a kid with her. He is still in love with her. We all saw the reunion after the season 6. He is in love with her and was devastated by the breakup. And I know she was too. For sure she was. But yeah, this is, oh boy. But anyways, he is saying this. And then we kind of see Skip to Malou. And she says, I have a different experience with both Chrishell and Nicole. She says Nicole is so nice to her, but Chrishell, I can't be friends with her. She only says hi to me when Jason is around. Uh-oh. She says that Chrishell ignores me, and that's mean girl shit. And there we go. Here's another conflict that's about to start. Jason does say what Chrishell also said about Nicole's face and being rearranged. And they all agree, okay, that was fucked up. Like, that's unnecessary. Even Jason said, like, that's unnecessary. You don't need to say shit like that. And I agree. You don't need to say shit like that. It's petty. And then, come on, Chrishell. You are I'm pretty sure, like, I don't know how old Nicole is. I feel like she's in her late 30s. She's not even in her 40s yet. Chrishell is probably a few years older than her and acting like she's younger than her. I mean, Nicole's not much better. But Chrishell doesn't know how to fight either because she's talking about shit that doesn't matter. Now, like I've said, throwing the drugs out there, that was good. But otherwise, yeah. So now we're at Heather's with Bree. This is very quick, not much here to talk about, but Bree brought her baby boy, and oh my god, he is adorable. He's so cute. But yeah, we're just talking about babies in this conversation. And towards the end of it, our Bree's son says, Mama. He has not said Dada. Suck it, Nick. Actually, don't, because I feel like you might get... Anyway, moving on. So we're with Brett now, and we're also with Amanza. And we also see Chelsea coming. And they're going to be looking around this. I think it was a penthouse. They're looking around this place, and Brett leads them to their devices to go look around some more. They're not going to look around. They're going to talk shit. So let's talk about the drama. Okay. Chelsea doesn't agree with Nicole, but also feels bad for Nicole because her mental health. You throw out mental health and you're just like, okay, can't argue with that. Even if you don't give a shit, you can't argue. But Amanza says, I will talk to her, but we also need to talk to Chrishell and Emma and basically tell them that they need to back off. And then we hear Brett calling them, saying, like, where'd you guys go? So they're like running out of the room to go find him. And I think they end up running into either the wall or the glass. I'm not sure, but they ran into something, and yeah, it's hilarious. And then we're with Jason and Chrishell, and we're at the office, and y'all, they are flirty with each other. Maybe I'm grasping, but anyways, he tells her that she looks really cute. Okay. And then Jason brings up what Skip Malou said about Chrishell not being nice and not saying hi to her and only saying hi to her when Jason's around and all that nonsense. Chrishell does admit, though, that it might be weird just because, or it was weird because of the age gap between Skip Malou and Jason. But Chrishell says, listen, I have hugged her. Hello. She says, I don't know how to navigate this because Chrishell is very aware that it is a problem, that she is around Jason, and that maybe she's around him too much. So she's like, I just don't know how to navigate. Like, am I around enough to have a separate relationship with her? Am I not around because she doesn't like it? Like, what is it? And now And we start talking about Instagram follows and shit, and the fact that Chrishell didn't follow her fast enough or something. And Chrishell was like, okay, I'm not about this shit. Like, who cares? Kind of how I feel about Sarper and Shekinah. She says, I'm not going to co-parent your new girlfriend because you didn't want to be a parent with me. So now I'm not going to co-parent with you and your girlfriend. Not going to happen. Figure it out yourself. It's not my problem. 100%. The fuck? Anyway. She says, if I need to not be around anymore, I will do that for you to maintain your relationship. But you just need to tell me that. But he says he doesn't want that because he cares about Chrishell very much. And Skips and Lulu knows this. But Chrishell says the thing that I think we're all thinking. But maybe that's the problem. And we kind of ended off there. So now we're with Nicole, and walks Amanza. And, let's just figure this out, basically. Let's talk about what's going on here. And first and foremost, Amanza brings up the text message that Brandon sent, Nicole's husband. So Nicole says, not to excuse the text message, but she'll just basically ignore what I just said, and let's hear what I have to say now. I was very triggered, and so was he. Be fucking triggered. That doesn't give you the fucking right to text somebody. Fuck you. Fuck you. That's what I would have said. I would say, are you good? Fuck you too. Like, what the hell? It's not okay. I don't care how triggered you fucking were. Being triggered, that doesn't give you the excuse to do that. These fucking people. They're both, if they have children, I feel really bad for them. I'm sorry. It's truly. Because there's not one person who can have their head on their shoulders in this relationship. They're just both fuels to each other's fires, basically. It's ridiculous. But Nicole says that Emma is more approachable when Chrishell is not around. I highly doubt that. Maybe, again, I don't know. I can't even speak to that, but like, I don't believe her. But that's the thing. You find that, maybe things are better when Chrishell maybe isn't around or whatever. Fine. Maybe just bask in that and don't create more drama, because now she's a bitch to you, no matter where Chrishell is in the world. Stupid. Anyway, but she says that this whole situation, it broke her. Okay. She says even though Amanza doesn't agree with Nicole from the very beginning of the drama, starting with Chrishell, it has gotten out of hand and it needs to stop. That's where Amanza's at right now. So we're done with that. Now we're with Emma, Chelsea, Jason, Amanza, and Chrishell. They're going to be doing their 10-year anniversary of the O Group at this house that they're at. It is a crazy house. It has a club in it. It has like different little tricks and shit that, you had to like push buttons for and stuff like that. It's a pretty cool house. Anyway, yeah, so this house is not for sale. It's just basically open to the public to, I guess, host events and stuff. So they were going around or whatever, and they were about to go down to the club area, which is like down some set of stairs. But Chrishell's like, I'm actually in a lot of pain right now, so I'm going to stay up here and I'll meet with you guys after. And she starts explaining that she's been going through a lot of pain lately, but that it's getting worse. So hold on to that. Then we are meeting the owner of this house very briefly. But Chelsea says, I don't even know who he is. Because she talks about, like, this is, I forget the guy's name. But she's like, this guy who, built this amazing house and one of the most famous houses because they've like filmed here before and stuff like that. She's like, it's the most famous house. And she's like, but I don't actually know who he is. Anyway, we are now taking a crazy ass pic of Emma because Emma has her thing where she does these pictures. We've seen her do this before in a previous season. So she's taking this picture and they didn't even want to do it because she's like, it's on a slant. Like, stop it, you're gonna die. And Chrishell, like, she takes a picture. She's like, this is the last picture we all have of Emma. Spoiler alert, guys, she's fine. Then Amanza brings up the whole Nicole situation to both Chrishell and Emma. And she says, we need to put this shit to rest. Enough is enough. She's like, the petty comments need to stop. But I don't think anyone is really ready to apologize because Emma's kind of like, but she started it. Chrishell is like, I don't want to talk about this. Like, talking about Nicole gives me anxiety. I don't want to deal with it. And Chelsea, although like was on Amanza's side a little bit, she's kind of in this weird middle ground of, I agree with Amanza, we need to put this to rest, but I also get why Emma and Chrishell maybe don't want to deal with it. Like, she's kind of on this weird ground, so it's kind of where Chelsea's at. And Chelsea says, you know, what Nicole said to Emma, that was to hurt her. What Chrishell said to Nicole about her face, that was also to hurt her. And we need to apologize. But Chrishell says, nope, I'm not apologizing to her. She did this. Why the fuck do I need to apologize to her? Well, you do need to apologize when you say shit like that. Like, that's not okay. That's absolutely uncalled for. But yeah, she's just like, you know, no, I'm not going to apologize. And she leaves. And that's how episode 2 ends. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what you do in the situation because, like, Nicole should be the one to initiate an apology. I do understand that because she's the one that started all the drama, especially with everything that I did put out there in the end of season 6 between Nicole and Chrishell. They were friends. They were friends. So what is happening? So I do understand that. And yeah, I do think that yes, shit needs to be put to rest. But I do think Nicole should be the one who initiate the apology. Maybe then, you know, that can be processed, taken in, and there can be some sort of common ground between everybody. But I also think that Chelsea needs to take her own advice. When she says, like, things are being said to hurt each other, Chelsea, that's the same thing you said about Brie. But you are attacking someone's family dynamic. So I don't really know what's worse. Everybody's in this shit. Everyone needs to figure their shit out, honestly. But not too soon. Keep the drama going. But that is it for episode 2. We're going to take a break here. And then when we come back, we'll jump into episode 3. So now we are at episode 3. And the final episode for this episode, House of Horrors. So we are with Amanza and Chrishell, and Amanza basically just asks Chrishell, are we cool? Yes, they're fine. But Chrishell says, listen, I do get what you were trying to do, and I appreciate that. But she says, I need to just focus on my health right now because I have some stuff going on. And she explains, I went to the doctor and they ended up finding a cyst on her ovary that is the size of an orange. Fuck Nicole and her drama. Okay. And she says that they will have to do surgery to remove the cyst and that there is a potential that they might also have to remove the ovary that the cyst is sitting on as well, which is also going to be really heartbreaking because she said that that's just another hit to my goal that I'm trying to accomplish, which is having children. So she says right now she can't do anything. She can't have sex. She can't work out. She can't dance. She can't do nothing. She said, I can't do anything fun. That sucks. But anyway, now we're at the office. And y'all, Nikki Glaser is here. Yay! She is going to be buying her very first home, basically. So she's going to be coming, and she's here, and Brett says, it's so fun to have my 8th favorite comedian here. And Nikki says, funny, I don't know how this works, but you're my 3rd favorite twin. So yeah, as I mentioned, it's her first home that she's buying. She's been renting. And she says she's a little nervous. But she says, I just want to keep it simple and stupid. You know what I mean? She's like, I want a 2-bedroom home. She's like, I don't really like people. I don't want people in my house. Fair. I agree. She says, kitchen, I just need it big enough so I can open up Postmates. That's fine. I would like some windows. And she doesn't want to, like, go all in, right? She just wants to kind of be, over the pants. Like an over the pants blowjob, she basically says. And Brett says, that doesn't sound very good. Nikki says, for someone who, this was Jason. I think both Jason and Brett were there. But anyways, they kind of start talking about Chrishell and Jason and the demise of their relationship. Obviously, as we know, it's because of the kid situation, and him saying like he didn't think he actually really wanted to have kids. And then we start talking about the fact that he's in a relationship with someone who's nearly 20 years his junior. And Nikki says, for someone who said he didn't want to have kids, you're dating one. Oh man, that was great. She's like, do you have to read to her at night? I love Nikki so much. And we kind of have a little of a crossover here because we do also talk about F-Boy Island. So yeah, we have a little bit of a crossover. I love this. I love Nikki Glaser. I love her so much. Anyway, Chrishell is usually, Chrishell is actually going to be taking Skip to Malou out to lunch after the whole conversation between her and Jason. Anyway, we'll get to that soon. We're with Bree, and then we see Amanza, and they're looking at a house basically, and as they're looking at the house, Bree broke her nail. Anyway, then Amanza says, Chelsea actually wants to talk to you. She wants to apologize. And Bree seems very apprehensive, which is fair. And she says, like, why? Like, what point is it? She said what she said. She had hacked my family dynamic, and what is there to say? Nothing, really. So Chelsea thinks that she might be more of a messenger, apparently. This is what Amanza is telling her. And Bree says, a messenger for who, though? And she says, because only Chelsea is the one that's talking. And then she kind of works out the math in her head, and she's like, I know it's not you. I know it's not Mary. And like, I know it's not, I'm trying to remember everybody in my head here. I know it's not Heather. I know it's not her. And she kind of works that out, and she's like, the only people who are left is Chrishell and Emma. Those are the only 2 people that are left. And then, yeah, so I guess we'll see how that turns out. But yeah, it won't be good if either one of them is talking some shit. So we'll put that on hold for a minute, and we'll be back to that. So now it's lunchtime with Chrishell and Skip to Malou. Okay, guys, this is going to be really confusing for me because everybody was all over the place. Mainly Skip to Malou. Doesn't know what's up and what is down. So Chrishell says, let's clear the air. So, she says, like, I understand that you think I don't like you or something. And she says, like, I'm surprised by this because we've been fine. We've been cool. And she's like, in the whole situation with Instagram, like, what is that? And Skip to Malou says, no, like, that's not a problem for me. She's like, yeah, I might have followed you and it took you 3 months to follow me back, but that's not a problem. And I'm thinking, You sure as hell know how long it took her to follow you back, though. The fuck? Okay. Anyway, then Chrishell brings up her crying. So I didn't talk about this. So this was brought up in the conversation between her and Jason. Apparently, when they were in Australia and they were meeting up to have lunch with everybody, so it was probably separate from what we actually saw because we did see Skips Malou. But she says that they were meeting up for lunch. Skips Malou was supposed to be there. She wasn't there. And instead, she calls Jason while at the lunch, and she says she could hear that like Skips Malou was crying, and she thought it had to do with the fact that Chrishell was there. So she brings this up to Skips Malou, and Skips Malou says, I wasn't crying. I wasn't crying. What are you talking about? Chrishell says that, listen, we are not friends by any means and stretch of imagination, but she says, like, I have been friendly with you. And Skips Malou says, but you haven't been friendly with me. And y'all, the editing is just chef's kiss because they end up doing a montage very similarly to when we found out about the cutie situation on Love is Blind. Just tell us all of the freaking times that Chrishell has hugged Skips Malou. Every single fucking time that girl has been in her presence, Chrishell has hugged her hello. What the fuck is this girl talking about? This is when her credibility went down the fucking tubes. And so then I realized after this that we're going to start some real serious grasping because Skips Malou says you ignore me and you don't ask questions about me and that you only, say hi to me when Jason is around. And Chrishell says, but I'm only with you when Jason is around. When else am I around you? Like, she's straight up. She's like, what? So then they start talking about, like, listen, let's just call Jason. Let's let Jason clear the fucking air. For fuck's sakes. So Chrishell says, okay, fine, call him. If you want to call him, call him. So Skips Malou calls him. And it doesn't go, I think, the way Skips Malou wanted it to go. But anyways, we call Jason. And this bitch, because now her name is this bitch, because this bitch starts lying to him about what Chrishell is saying to her in this moment, saying how Chrishell thinks that I'm being jealous and that's what's happening or whatever the fuck. And Chrishell says, I never said that. And she's like, you realize we're on camera, right? This is being filmed. I never said that. And then Skips Malou says, well, then I don't know what you said. Fuck, that's clear. Because then I started to realize when she said that, like, I don't know what you said. You're not here to have a conversation with Chrishell and clear the air. You're here to have a pissing contest on who's Jason's woman or not. This is what it's all about. Everything leads back to Jason. If you have a problem with the relationship between Chrishell and Jason, don't take that up with his ex-girlfriend. Take it up with the person you sleep with at night. That's who you should be taking this up with. And you need to create a boundary with him so that you don't end up in another episode of you, me, and my ex. Like, I don't understand. Then Jason says, do I need to be on this call? So then I thought at this point that Jason was off the call, but apparently not. We'll get to it. Because then Skips Malou then mispronounced G and referred to them as she when it's clear. It's been pretty clear, especially if you're in this world and you're around them and you know this. We know that she doesn't go by she, her pronouns. She goes by they, them. Or they go by they, them pronouns. So, yeah. Chrishell loses her shit and says, you know that their pronoun is they, them. You're mispronouncing them now. She's like, that's okay. But like, why? And again, here's the other thing I'm going to put. Why is she being brought up in this? This has nothing to do with them. This has to do with the fact that you have a problem that Chrishell is friends with Jason. We don't know how she feels. We haven't talked to them. We don't know if they have an issue with the relationship between Chrishell and Jason. We have not seen them since last season. As far as things looked, they seem to be fine. So I don't know. I really don't know. Then Jason is all of a sudden like, do I need to be part of this conversation? And I'm like, Jason, you're still here. What is happening? Like Chrishell says, I feel like I am losing brain cells in this conversation. Skips and Lulu says that Chrishell is emotional over this. What are you talking about, ma'am? Come again? The one who's emotional in this conversation is you, not Chrishell. Chrishell says had enough. There's a difference. And Chrishell says, I'm leaving. But before she does, she also says, actually, I don't know if she says this to her. I'm trying to remember. But anyways, she basically just say, whether it's in in the moment or to Skitsamulu says, yes, am I friends with Jason? Yes, I am. But I don't need to be. And then she walks away. So I'm assuming she said this to Skitsamulu. She said, I don't need to be friends with him. It's not worth it to her. And I agree. If you're going to continue a friendship with your ex, and this is the shit you have to deal with, it's not worth it. It's not worth my mental health. I'm out. I'm outie 100. I'm out. Have him. He is yours. Have him. Have him completely. Okay, that's clearly what you want. Of course, she doesn't have a problem with Nicole. That is so far removed that she doesn't care. Chrishell and Jason is a little more recent, and that's why she has a problem. Anyway. So now we are at the office, and Emma has a house that she needs to sell. And we did see her get this house in the previous season. Jason says that the house needs a price reduction because if the mansion tax comes into account here and he doesn't sell the house before where it's currently at, he will need to pay $700,000 to the city. So that answers the question, and I guess it goes the hits on the seller. So she will need to have a conversation with him to drop it by about 30%. And she says, I've never had to have this conversation with a client before to drop it that significantly because he wants, I can't remember what it is, like a $6 million drop, I think. So yeah, it's a lot. And but she better get it done because Jason is under the impression that he is okay to drop the price, but Emma thinks that he isn't okay to drop the price because she's had this conversation with him before. But Jason said that he actually saw the client and the client told him he's okay with the idea of a reduction. And she's like, well, of course he's going to tell you that over some drinks. But then when it comes time to actually do it, he doesn't want to do it. So, anyway, so now it's the 10-year anniversary party. And we have most of the people here from the Selling Sunset crew, excluding Chrishell. She's not doing great. But we also have a few people from the OC office. We have Gio and Jarvis, Austin and Hall. And we're going to realize in a second that the hatred for Hall doesn't just happen in the OC office. It also seems to spread to the Sunset office. We'll get to it in a minute. But we are told the story about how Jason, in his apartment back in 10 years ago or whatever, would walk around naked in front of a window with baby powder on his balls. Then Emma talks about the drama between Chrishell and Skipsmaloo. Fill some people in on what happened, basically. And both Emma and Chelsea don't really seem to buy Skipsmaloo's bullshit. you shouldn't, because this is an insecure little girl who can't regulate her emotions. And honestly, that's Jason's fault. That's not Chrishell's fault. That is Jason's fault. But it's easier to go after the woman than it is to go after the man that you're with, I guess. Anyway. Then Bree and Emma talk. And she wants to talk about the whole thing that she found out from Chelsea. Oh, no, sorry, not Chelsea. Amanza. Emma slowly says, I did not say anything. And I don't think Chrishell would say anything either. It didn't come from us. So then who? Who did it come from? And then Bree says, it is weird because I don't really know if Chelsea said anything. Because Emma says, talk to Chelsea, maybe, because Chelsea's really the only person who can tell you this. And she's like, well, I don't know, because what if Amanza is starting drama where drama isn't? Maybe that's a possibility. I don't know, but we'll see. And then Bree kind of says, listen, if Amanza has something that she needs to say or knows something, why wouldn't she have just told me? That's what she says. And that's very fair. If you're all supposed to be friends, why wouldn't she just tell you? So now the twins are going to be giving their speech about how they started the O group, and they started in their second bedroom in their apartment, or Jason's apartment. And, Nicole was there and blah, blah, blah. And yeah, anyways, who cares? Moving on. And they have an announcement to make. And the announcement is that they are going to be opening a new office in LA that's kind of right down the street from the existing office. And they basically say, so guys, step up your shit so I don't regret my decision to open a new office. You could have just said that your work ethic needs some help. Fuck. So yeah, including Cabo that they just opened. Apparently they've opened one in San Diego. Whoa. Like, they're stretching it a little bit. He also says, Jason says, or one of them says, like, listen, LA. OC group agents, they work their asses off in comparison to you guys. Fuck. And then we hear this comment, and I don't know why this happened or why this was said, but Amanza's like, I don't like that girl in the orange dress. Guys, the girl in the orange dress was Hall. Hall doesn't get along with anybody. Unless it's Tyler and his lips. Anyway. Then Chelsea makes a comment about, what, we just need to be accepting people for who they are. And then Amanza kind of says to Chelsea, direct that comment over here, and points to Bree. Now not the time, y'all. Then Jarvis says, listen, I don't know how y'all deal with confrontation in the office. Our office deals with straight up bullying. What about you guys? And then Nicole says, a little bit. And then Emma says, I find it hard that you kind of say you feel bullied when you're the one that's attacking other people. And she says, you need to take some accountability for what you do. And Nicole doesn't wish to have this conversation or hash this out again. And I'm thinking, you're going to continue to hash this out until you admit I fucked up. You can't even do that. Anyway. Then Bree says, let me say something. If someone is defending themselves, that is not bullying. So she's basically talking about the fact, like, Emma, Chrishell, whatever, coming and, quote unquote, attacking Nicole. They're defending themselves from what you're doing. So that's not bullying. That's just them defending themselves. Basically what she's trying to say. So, she's like, you're not a victim. That's what she says. Then Nicole says, you were not there, so why do you have to say anything? She doesn't need to be there to state the fucking obvious or give her 2 cents. And what she said was very general. She didn't point out names. She didn't point people out. She just says, if you're going to act like an idiot and people are defending themselves, that's not bullying. That's okay for her to say. And that's always Nicole's go-to. You weren't there. So like, you can't say anything. Do you have something new in your repertoire? Something new. Because it's pathetic how you keep repeating the same shit. So the priest says, okay, so then tell me your story. What is it? And she doesn't have a story to tell because she has nothing to say. Instead, Nicole says that she is tired of the victim mentality in the office. You grasp and hold on to the victim mentality if you can. Like, are you kidding me? Fuck you, Nicole. Like, honestly. Then Amanza says, hold on. This bullshit needs to stop. Cut the shit. And Amanza says to Nicole, you maybe didn't mean to start World War III with Chrishell, but at the end of the day, you did start World War III. So own your shit, basically. And she pulls out her purse that says tell the truth or something like that. So I'm just like, Nicole, you're full of shit. Like, you full of shit. You can't even own up to the fact that you started shit. And you can't own it. She's such in delusion land that she can't even realize that she started the shit. It's ridiculous. But anyway, the season looks great. I'm enjoying it so far. And that is the end of episode 3 and the end of our episode. So if you like what you heard, please rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast. And you can rate a review on either Apple Podcasts or Spotify. And I have a new thing that I want to start trying, and that is that every 4 or 5 star review that we get, I'll read it on the podcast. So if you want to hear your review on the podcast, please rate and review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you're able to rate and review. And if you want to connect with us, you can do so by going to Reality Tea Times 2 on Facebook, Reality Tea Times 2 podcast on Instagram or Threads, Reality Tea Times 2 pod on Twitter. You can also find us on Reddit at Reality Tea Times 2 pod. And you can also email us at realityteatimes2@hotmail.com. And don't forget, you can find us on YouTube at Reality Tea Times 2. You can also subscribe, like, comment on there as well. We greatly appreciate that. And don't forget that I do have another podcast with my friend Nicole called Next Take Podcast, where we talk about all kinds of different things. We currently have, this number can definitely change, but we currently have about 8 episodes. Roughly, we've talked about all kinds of different things. We have a lot of fun over there. So please go take a listen to us over at Next Take Podcast, which you can find us on YouTube at Next Take Podcast. You can also find us on our website, solo.to/Next Take Podcast. And don't forget, we have a website, and that is at solo.to/Reality Tea Times 2. And we also have a Discord, and I believe that's Reality Tea Times 2 as well. So you can find us there. But that's basically it. That's all the stuff. Of course, everything here that I've just listed will be in our show notes. All discount codes, special links to everything that we put in our ads are also in our show notes. And yeah, that's basically it, guys. Thanks so much. Bye. Have you ever thought of starting your very own podcast? Doing the research, I found something that would have made editing easy and seamless and makes the podcasting experience just that much easier. And I am talking about Ludo. This is a podcast software that I use for our editing of our episodes. It is amazing. It is easy. You're also able to get help from doing chats and getting the information that maybe you just need a little more help with. They also have access to different articles that can also help you that have been just godsends for me. Also with Ludo, you can create clips, you can do your ads, that's like this very one I'm doing right now, and you can create your trailer very seamlessly just by the clicks of buttons. You can also use Ludo to publish your episodes just straight from the software. It's so easy. I highly recommend it. You can get access to Ludo by using our unique link, which you can find on our show notes, just down there at the bottom at the show notes. And you can get access to an easy software